who's number 2 as far as fat?
Wow.
She's number 1. I'm number 2.
For city leaders, the name Kobe Bryant and the Lakers brought something special. Prestige for L.A. with 7 NBA championships and 5 wins, along with unity among Angelino fans.
Kobe Bryant has taught all of us in Los Angeles that this city has a fighting spirit.
When Kobe Bryant and the Lakers were playing, we were all Angelinos.
But the former MVP is more than just a basketball legend. He is also a philanthropist. He and his wife donate time and money to causes for youth and the homeless.
On behalf of the 60,000 people that tonight in L.A. County will sleep on the streets, I want to say thank you because you recognize their plight before a lot of us. We are late to the party.
On his last Lakers game, Bryant scored a legendary 60 points, and he doesn't plan to slack off. Among his retirement plans, new business ventures, a strict workout regimen to stay in shape, and a new addition to the family.
We are expecting another baby girl.
Kobe Bryant, L.A. wishes you well in your new game plan. I'm Anna Marcos for L.A. This Week.
Brian says he may also try some new things such as skiing, surfing, and skydiving. Well, if you transfer between bus and rail in NoHo, you know how dangerous the switch can be. Until recently, you had to cross a busy street to change lines, but not anymore. Gil Reyes shows us a new pedestrian tunnel that's making commutes a lot safer.
It used to work like this. Transferring between the orange bus line station to the red line rail stop in North Hollywood meant crossing the street first. And not just any street, Lankershim Boulevard, one of the busiest thoroughfares in the 818. But those days are over.
Now they have easy access. It's going to speed up travel across the valley. It's really going to be another step forward, I think, in the usefulness and ease and speed of mass transit through the San Fernando Valley.
Metro celebrates the opening of a 150-foot-long pedestrian tunnel linking the two lines in North Hollywood. The underground walkway is expected to shave minutes from your commute. It took 2 years to build and cost $22 million.
When you go to the voters and you say, we want you to tax yourselves, to invest in your own communities, you take a risk because you don't know, will they open? Will they be successful? Will they be on time and on budget? And it is a wonderful feeling to see that we're helping manage an MTA that delivers on time, on budget, is being able to protect the community, improve our roads, and give people more options.
Mayor Eric Garcetti is asking us, the voters, to approve a half-cent sales tax increase this fall to fund even more transportation-related improvements. In North Hollywood, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
If approved, your tax dollars could help build some 40 projects over 40 years, including a rail tunnel through the Sepulveda Pass, linking the valley to the west side. Well, from making your commute safer to making it a lot cooler. And if you ride the bus, you know how hot it can get waiting for it, especially in the summer. But the city has a plan to make the experience more comfortable, especially for older citizens prone to heat stroke. Gil Reyes has more. Gil.
Yes, Yana, this bus stop on the corner of Eagle Rock Boulevard and San Fernando Road is one of the more popular bus stops here in the community of Glassell Park. A lot of the reason is new school and a new apartment complex built nearby, just within walking distance from here. So ridership is not a problem. What is a problem is the heat, specifically the sun that's bearing down on hot summer days like today. But the city has a plan that's made in the shade.
Waiting for the bus can be especially unpleasant for Margaret Chang when the heat is on.
Dia, what do you like to see here?
Benches, a shade over the bench.
Her bus stop in Glassell Park has some shading on the southbound side, but none on the northbound side. And she's headed north. There's also no seating.
If I sit over there, I cannot see the bus. I will miss the bus. So I will like the benches for a long time. And shade over the bench, even better.
She will soon get her wish. The city breaks ground on a 20 by 50 foot transit pavilion with big canopies to help beat the heat, the rain, and more.
We're going to have security lighting. We're going to have benches while you wait for the transit, and all of this then surrounded by drought-tolerant landscaping.
The beautification aims to increase the comfort level of seniors. Also, new riders like tenants in recently built apartments and students from Sotomayor Learning Academies. Councilman Gil Cedillo says more development is planned.
I envision, elegant housing down the road, affordable workforce, market rates. We need housing in the city, and this is an area where we can build without displacement.
And building those projects near transit stops to encourage more use of public transportation. But it has to be comfortable.
Shade and covering. I think it's going to mean so much for the community.
In Gliselle Park, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The city hopes to complete renovations next summer. Turning now to LA World Airport's own modernization program at LAX. It's a multi-billion-dollar windfall for LA, and you just might have a chance to cash in if you're a small business. Anna Marcos tells us about LAWA's unique offer to small business owners.
Inclusion is the name of the game as LA World Airports launches its $5.5 billion modernization program, one of the largest construction projects in LA history. And LAWA leaders want every small business owner in LA to get a piece of the pie.
What we're hoping is that the local small businesses that attended this forum today will have opportunities to meet with the potential prime bidders on this contract, and we'll be getting on their teams.
Small business participation, diverse business, minority business will be highly encouraged.
700 business leaders networked and mingled at the Small Business Forum at LAX. The first project up for bid will be the automated People Mover, the centerpiece of the new LAX project, which will move people throughout the airport without the need for cars. The jobs up for grabs include construction, design, engineering, finance, landscaping, maintenance operations, and much more.
We look forward to you bringing that creativity and ingenuity, bringing something new and something different for us to build upon here.
LAX is doing something that's never been done. It's not only encouraging and practicing diversity in its hiring, it's demanding it from all its contractors and subcontractors as well.
Absolutely, it's really helpful. We've been tracking these projects and trying to go after that, trying to collect as much information as we can.
LAWA leaders say small businesses don't always have it easy getting in on airport bids, but they hope their new all-inclusive push helps build not only a better, less congested airport, but a better and economically stronger LA. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
LAWA leaders say they've put policies in place to make sure small businesses are involved in this project. For more information, visit connectinglax.com. And if you're a small merchant in LA that flies the rainbow flag, then you may want to listen up. Anna Marcos reports from the LA Times LGBT Forum on some changes that could help boost your business.
If you're gay or lesbian, there's probably never been a better climate to start a business in LA. One panelist at the LA Times LGBT Business Forum touched on new state laws, such as AB 53, which help improve the bottom line for the rainbow flag community and their businesses.
The insurance companies in the state of California report in their minority spend how much is going to LGBT businesses, and that has taken the numbers from 6 figures to 7 figures.
Sometimes it's always about gay pride, and that's all great. But let's talk about the power of our purse in this community and how we are a driver of the economy.
Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell talked about his Open for Business initiative, which will help lower permit fees for small businesses, speed up the process for merchants to renew their permits, and offer case management services for small business.
In Los Angeles, 3/4 of employees work at small businesses. So why on earth aren't we prioritizing that? Because that's our economy. That's the backbone of our economy.
Under state law, you can even get certified as an LGBT business. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
An agreement years in the making has finally been reached between LAX and residents who live near the airport. Another major corridor in LA gets the beauty treatment, and some kids in Sylmar have some fun with LAPD officers while learning important life lessons. All these stories in City Beat. The City of Los Angeles and a group representing residents who live near LAX have reached an agreement that will put an end to lawsuits and disputes over a proposal to move the North Airfield runways 260 feet closer to residential neighborhoods. The agreement will require that alternative safety measures be taken before airport officials can consider relocating the runways. The agreement will allow major modernization projects at Los Angeles International Airport to continue, including a people mover and a rental car center. Officials said this ends a long war between residents and LAX.
Today we're at a day where there is peace and the significant promise of progress ahead.
Nearly 100 community members came out recently to help beautify Western Avenue as part of Mayor Eric Garcetti's Great Streets initiative. Volunteers painted 6 new murals, picked up trash, and pruned landscaping. City officials said the cleanup and artwork will not only benefit local residents, but all LA residents.
As they're driving home, sometimes in traffic, unfortunately, they can see the beautiful artworks on the walls, the beautiful quotes from our philosophers, from thinkers, great thinkers. So we could at least add a little bit of sunshine in their drives.
The annual LAPD Baseball Swing-a-thon kicked into high gear recently, bringing together kids in Sylmar and LAPD officers for a friendly game of baseball and other fun activities. Officials say the event promotes a positive lifestyle, physical fitness, sports, and teamwork. The swing-a-thon includes a baseball skills clinic given by the law enforcement teams, a rock climbing wall, extreme obstacle courses, and rap contests for big prizes. Kids also recited the Just Say No pledge, a promise to say no to drugs, gangs, crime, and bullying.
Officers help out a lot in the community, and then they give them really good advice to grow up, no drugs, no crime, no bullying, and all that, and then they need to learn. So it's very positive for every kid, especially mine.
And as you just saw, baseball is a great American tradition that brings communities and families together. Spending time playing catch and hitting baseballs with your kids creates lifelong memories. But if you're in the military, you know how fleeting those times can be, specifically when duty calls. But the LA Dodgers are helping to make the grief of military deployments a bit easier. Gil Reyes explains.
Throughout its history, baseball has forged bonds between fathers and sons. All family members, really, from youth players to team moms to siblings in the stands. But for military families, deployment separates and rains out those cherished moments when everyone's together.
When I served in the Gulf War, it was rough out there. I missed childbirth with my first kid, and just the Dodgers and Cal Ripken to either just recognize what we did for our country, to allow other kids like this to do this, just great.
The Cal Ripken Senior Foundation offers this free baseball clinic to 175 kids whose parents serve or have served in the U.S. military. Some of the kids don't have dads around to teach them how to hit, throw, and field because they're on duty. So, LA Dodgers players like J.P. Howell and Bud Norris fill in to help out for a day at the Dodgers Youth Dream Field at Belvedere Park in East Los Angeles.
This is what we do with the foundation, is giving kids opportunities they may not otherwise have. And one of our focuses, along with the MLB Players Trust, is focusing on the military youth and really getting them involved.
Seems like a no-brainer, right? This is, after all, America's favorite pastime, so why not give back to the military men and women and their families who help make America so great? This is what it's all about.
Absolutely. My father, my grandfather served, and knowing what that meant to me and to my upbringing and childhood, and to know what our servicemen and servicewomen today are just so important in our livelihood, and we can't thank them enough. Words are not enough to give back to their kids and to see them out here too, and a couple of handshakes. It's really worthwhile, and just makes everybody feel good.
Some servicemen lucky enough to be in attendance expressed their gratitude for this free training seminar for their kids.
It's a really special thing. I'd really like to thank the Dodgers for putting this event together.
It's a great way, for military families to feel appreciated,
while spending some family fun time. At the Dodgers Youth Dream Field at Belvedere Park, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
All 175 kids also walked home with free T-shirts, baseballs, and gloves. While growing up in a disadvantaged neighborhood can be tough, many times kids get caught up in a vicious cycle of violence and crime with no way out. But one program is hoping to change that by getting young people in East LA on the right side of the law. Anna Marcos has more on a summer youth employment program at the LAPD's Hollenbeck Division.
How do you explain the shooting death of a 14-year-old boy by police, even if justified, to a group of young people from the projects? Well, how about hiring some of them for the summer and letting them hang out and work side by side with the cops?
We want to give them some work experience. We want to continue to build relationships with the youth of the community.
This is the new summer youth employment program at the LAPD's Hollenbeck Division. And boy, do these kids have burning questions for the cops, such as what did happen in that recent police shooting that left 14-year-old Jesse James Romero, a gang graffiti suspect, dead in Boyle Heights.
The individual fired at the officers, and then the officers returned fire. And it turned out that this individual was 14 years old. He would have been 15 this month.
The 32 kids in the program learn what police go through in making split-second, life-and-death decisions every day. In the meantime, they earn their pay doing everything from washing cars to filing paperwork.
It's more like an opportunity to get to see what they do on a daily basis, how they quickly answer the calls, they get on their vehicles and run out, and it's crazy.
The program is a joint effort with the Housing Authority of the City of LA to give kids from the Ramona Gardens Housing Project a chance to forge new relationships with those who protect the law.
I grew up here around all Boyle Heights, Lincoln Heights. Where I grew up, it was more like, okay, LAPD them, and there was us. So it wasn't, we didn't really interact. And I feel like now that I've got to know officers, they're also people, they're normal.
The kids are about halfway done through this program, and once they're done, there's another perk waiting. Job references from no less than the LAPD.
It does take a lot of work to whatever you're going to do in life. It takes a lot of work.
Police hope it leads to a perk for them as well. Better relations with the future leaders of their community and fewer scenes like this. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The kids in the program are in high school and college. The only requirements are that they are between 14 and 21, live in the Ramona Gardens Project, and are ready and willing to work. Well, the LAPD is also putting kids to work, but their focus is on attracting and recruiting more girls to the department. And it starts with camp. Gil Reyes has more.
Lean farther back from the ladder. There you go.
No guts, no glory for about 100 teenage girls chasing a dream.
I want to be a firefighter.
Why?
I always wanted to be a hero growing up.
But to get there, they'll have to be as good, if not better, than the guys at climbing ladders, dousing flames, and saving lives. Welcome to the first ever LA City Fire Department Girls Camp, a 2-day introductory seminar in San Pedro to help entice more young women to join the LA City Fire Department.
That is an area that we need to improve upon. Right now we have about 3%, it's about 100 females. Our goal is to double that number, and I think we're well on our way towards accomplishing that.
Female firefighters from Seattle to San Diego help demonstrate what it takes. For starters, they'll have to strap on 70 pounds of heavy gear for a typical firefight. But these young women, ages 14 to 18, say they're determined to be first responders. Helping them after today are firefighter magnet programs. You'll find them at Wilson High School in El Sereno and Banning High in Wilmington. There are also youth fire academies at several fire stations to participate in throughout the year.
So the goal is after this camp today
to feed them into one of our various youth development programs so that they stay learning and active.
And dreaming big to eventually be where usually the boys are, in a dangerous but rewarding career helping others. In San Pedro, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Young men and women ages 14 to 20 can also take part in the City Fire Cadet program. It could light the spark to a future career. Log on to firecadet.org for info. If you love jazz, then you're in the right place. No other city has more jazz history west of Chicago. So every summer, LA hosts a concert celebrating those sweet sounds from Central Avenue. Gil Reyes shows us.
At 85 years young, jazz legend Kenny Burrell shows us he's still got it. Burrell, one of the headliners at the Central Avenue Jazz Festival. From the 1930s through the 1950s, Central Avenue was the epicenter of West Coast jazz. Artists who've passed through include Duke Ellington, Billie Holiday, and Charlie Parker, to name a few. Also, Ernie Andrews, who at 89 years old still performs to this day. During their heyday, they entertained audiences here at the legendary Dunbar Hotel.
Central Avenue was the spot where African-American performers came. When they came to perform in Beverly Hills, when they couldn't stay in the hotels in Beverly Hills, they came to Central Avenue.
We celebrate that history, we celebrate that legacy, but also recognize and realize the cultural diversity that exists today, and we want to celebrate that as well. And we think music is the best way to do that.
Over 24 acts performed on the festival's 21st anniversary. On Central Avenue, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Jazz legends in the making like 19-year-old Ray Gorin and 20-year-old Aaron Shaw also performed. Well, it's a party for your taste buds during a fine food and wine tasting. Navy vessels flex their military might during Fleet Week, and a Beatles exhibit that'll take you back in time. All this in this week's Things to Do. Labor Day weekend just got tastier. Food lovers get ready to indulge in the ultimate food tasting experience. LA Times is hosting its annual festival celebrating LA's culinary delights. Paramount Studios will be transformed into an elaborate pop-up block party featuring tastings and wines from some of the best restaurants in the city. It all takes place on Labor Day on the Paramount Pictures Studio backlot. For more, visit events.latimes.com/taste. LA Fleet Week is a free public event at America's #1 port, featuring guided ship tours, military and aerial demonstrations. Entertainment includes live music, educational programs, fireworks, and food trucks. Fleet Week is an annual patriotic tradition where active military ships recently deployed in overseas operations dock in a major U.S. city for 1 week. This year marks the first time Los Angeles has hosted an official Fleet Week event. For more, visit portoflosangeles.org. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles brings us back to the early 60s when rock and roll was re-energized. Some say saved by 4 lads from Liverpool. On display at the Grammy Museum are many Beatles-related pop culture artifacts from the period, as well as correspondence, instruments, posters, photographs, interviews, interactive displays, and an oral history booth in which visitors can leave their own impressions of the Beatles. Check it out at the Grammy Museum July 1st through the 5th. For more, visit GrammyMuseum.org. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. But before we go, a correction on a story we aired during the week of August 13th. We reported that LA City Council approved $115 million to keep the Our Cycle LA program running. But rather, City Council approved $117,000 to keep the program going. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
Mr. Rue has arrived. Mr. Rue has arrived. Members, please report to the council chambers. Chambers. Members, please report to the council chambers. Members, please report to the council chambers. Mr. Blumenfield has arrived. Mr. Blumenfield. Members report to the council chambers. Ms. Martinez has arrived. Okay, Mr. Fuentes has arrived. Let's get ready to... Good morning. Shh. Good morning. It is Tuesday, August 30th. I want to welcome you to your Los Angeles City Council meeting. Madam Clerk, we do have a quorum. Would you please call the roll?
Blumenfield, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Fuentes, Harris-Dawson, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rue, Wesson. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Koretz moves. Ms. Martinez seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Fuentes moves. Mr. Buscaino seconds. That brings us where?
Mr. President, today is Tuesday, and that takes us to the flag salute.
Okay, Mr. O'Farrell, would you please lead us in today's flag salute? If I could ask everyone to rise.
Sure. Place your hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, why don't we begin by going through the agenda?
Mr. President, there's a request to continue item 33 for 2 weeks to September 13th, and the Department of Building and Safety requests to continue items 1A, B, and C for 2 weeks to September 13th.
Okay, so without objection, that shall be the order. Continue.
Items 1 through 6 are items noticed for public hearing.
Do we have cards?
Yes, there are cards on 1, 5, and 6.
Let's hold those and prepare to vote on the remaining items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Continue.
And, Mr. President, the orders for items 3 and 6 will be carried over 1 week to September 2nd unless reconsidered with 12 members present.
Well, why don't we reconsider them now? Okay, so can we vote on reconsideration? We have 12 members.
Just on 3. Item 3.
Okay, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That was on reconsideration. Now let's actually vote on the item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, continue.
Items 7 through 20 are items for which public hearings have been held. The Personnel and Animal Welfare Committee reports for items 11, 12, 13, and 14 have been submitted and circulated for council consideration.
Okay, members, Mr. Blumenfield.
Item 17 special, please.
17 for Mr. Blumenfield. Let us now vote on the remaining items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Continue.
Items 21 through 31 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, those items are now before this body. Cards?
Yes, there are cards on all items except for item 31.
Okay, let's hold those and vote on 31. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, that brings us where?
Items 32 and 34 are items scheduled for closed session. Would you like to hold them on the desk?
At this point, I would say yes. So let's hold those items and continue.
And on the supplemental agenda, item 35 is an item for which a public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, that item is before us. Do you have cards?
Yes, there are cards on 35.
Okay, so let's hold that, and that brings us where?
That takes council back to presentations or items called special.
Mr. Walsh, you want to come forward and deal with, you'll have 3-4 minutes on your items and then a minute for public comment. So like I say, please stick to the items. Your first minutes are on the items, and you have 5, 21, 22, 23. So please begin. Could you give him his 4?
3, 5, 21, 22, 23, and 30. That's 5 minutes. Number 5, confirmation of assistance. Sidewalks, Miracle Mile, that's where the mayor's lives. they get preference. If you live in a black or a brown neighborhood, you can go to hell as far as your sidewalks are concerned. Number 21 is 21. Appointment of Ernesto Hidalgo. As you know, you put on someone on here once who was a child pornographer. We checked on Mr. Hidalgo. He's not, so we're not going to complain about him. Proceeds from the Crenshaw Slauson redevelopment project area. I got up 30 years ago and said I'd live to bury the redevelopment agency, and I did live to bury the redevelopment agency, despite the fact that they all laughed at me when I said it. That was the first time I spoke into public comment, and that was in Berkeley. The Crenshaw Slauson redevelopment project, that's the money that's left over, and they're paying off the redevelopment project areas very, very large amount of debt. Next, number 30. This is mitigate 2 orphan wells. Not Orson Welles, orphan wells. I mean, am I supposed to cry? They're orphan. They don't have a daddy well or a mommy well. What orphan wells means is the private and people came in, dug a huge well, took out all the oil that they could, and then they walked away from it, and the city has to deal with the orphan wells now till the end of time. Because the speculators, the real estate speculators, were able to do a very, very good job. 22. Funding to, this is affordable housing pipeline. This is pipeline regulations. Nobody gives a damn about the pipelines here. It is one thing that upper-class white people have to deal with, because the city was built very well here. When it went west, it's falling apart. The pipelines are falling apart. The pipelines are rupturing. And what are we going to spend a half-cent sales tax on? What are we going to spend it on? Subway to the goddamn sea, so blacks and Hispanics can go out and be servants and chauffeurs for the Jews. And I'm a Jew. As far as what's happening in the city, the mayor, the Olympics are finished. They got terrible ratings. You're not going to get the Olympics. Measure M for more and more money. This is the perpetual tax on the county residents. A half cent forever. Forever. That's trillions and trillions of dollars so they can build. I understand white people. I'm a white person myself. They believe that Jesus Christ is coming back in a train. Europeans love trains, and we're going to spend billions of dollars while South L.A. falls apart. Fuck the trains. Fuck Measure M.
Okay, Mr. Walsh, you want your general public comment? Give him a minute.
Okay. Again, what we're talking about here is Glenn Dake. The mayor wants to run for senator. Not this time around, but when Dianne Feinstein, we assume she's not going to live forever. That might be a big assumption. When she leaves, the mayor wants to run for, no mayor of the city of Los Angeles has ever won higher office. San Francisco, yes, higher office. Mayor in San Diego, higher office. But he has a problem in that he has 2 wives. He has his regular wife, and he has Glenn Dake. But believe me, they're very good friends. They enjoy sharing him. Now, if what I'm saying is, see, if I said this about Koretz, everyone would scream, that's crazy. Koretz isn't gay, and that's true. He's not gay, and I'm not accusing him of being gay and having a lover on the payroll at the Metropolitan Water District.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Ms. McAllister. So what I have is you would have 4 minutes total for 23, 24, 25, and then your public comment.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't like this new procedure you have where you lump all of our comments under 4 minutes at the beginning to get rid of us. What that means is you don't care what we say. You're going to vote and do what you want to do. That's why you call us first. I don't like this procedure. Number 23, I'm not liking this at all. What you're doing is trying to forgive some loans for the Asians. Okay, these are Asians. Project New Hope. $460,566. Pacific Asian Family Incorporated, $337. $137,000. Pacific Clinics, $472,704. And again, that's a Pacific Asian Family Incorporated at $337,137. These loans should not be forgiven. Asians are the second largest illegal alien group in this country, and especially in California. What are Asians doing for other people? Nothing but stuff in their pockets. Now, when we give these people loans, we cannot afford. These are shelters. We cannot afford to forgive these loans. Who said that they should be forgiven? They should not. These loans should not be forgiven. They should pay back these loans. You're trying to say they should be forgiven for work that they've done. They haven't done a darn thing. They've been paid to shelter people. Now, joint communication from the Economic and Workforce Development Department. Again, Asians run that. Many Asians, they don't help anybody but Asians. Asians and Mexicans. And I'll say Mexicans because they're illegal aliens. We need to investigate these Asian organizations to make sure that they're not swindling and engaging in fraud. And then we have a consideration of a motion for Harris Dawson Price relative to the utilization of taxable access bond proceeds for Crenshaw Slauson. Now here, they want $119,000 for a vision of an outdoor art exposition. In both of those county districts, we got about 5,000 homeless black people laying on the street, and they're talking about some darn vision for some art. You Negroes need to do your job. Most of the blacks, most of the homeless are African American, and it's unacceptable that we have two. I say two because Mr. President's district is doing much better. Price and Harris Dawson. They're not doing their job. Now, what Mr. Price did, he asked for $22 million from HUD, Housing Urban Development, to go into a football stadium. Do you believe that? $22 million when he has over 4,000 people laying on the street. That's equivalent to about 15 blocks. Yes, right, 15 blocks, because you add up all the people in those houses per block, 15 to 20 blocks of homeless people. He's asked for $22 million from HUD. HUD is the agency that gives us money for housing. We don't have an emergency. We have a fraudulent city council who's using the taxpayers' money to do everything except house and educate and get people jobs. That's what we have. They're more interested in smuggling illegal aliens into this city than anything else. We have the highest illegal alien population, I believe, in the nation. We've got to do something. We must do something. I was put out of a meeting the other day with Harris Dawson because I mentioned that $22 million. He threw me out of the meeting. It was a housing meeting because I mentioned the $22 million under HUD. That's how bold they are. But as I said to them last week, there's going to be a day when you will not be able to walk around black people in these parades and these festivals you give every summer, smiling at us when you're doing nothing but screwing people. I'm not talking about the others. I'm talking about black because I'm black. And I think it's wrong, Mr. President. We need to do something. We need housing for the poor. We have all these black people. Every day I ride around in my car, I see so many black people. I give them money and everything I can. You are not doing your job. I might have to take your job.
Wait, Mr. Now your general public comment.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was coming to that meeting that you had about 3 weeks ago in Van Nuys. I didn't know it was in Van Nuys. I thought it was here. I jumped on the bus. I was on my way because I saw the $22 million they wanted to give of HUD money, Housing Urban Development, to a football stadium. And I got halfway here. I realized you weren't here, so I couldn't get there. But I went on the web and blasted it all over the nation. It's a shame what we're doing here in Los Angeles. We need a federal investigation of this city council. And as many of us as we can get you off of this council and into prison or wherever you have to go. I believe most of you need to be in mental institutions. Also, I put a Freedom of Information on the City Attorney's Office. I want to know how many women have been denied promotions in this city, how many Jews we got up there, how many blacks we got up there, because I believe out of these 800 city attorneys, 750 are Jews, and we're going to change that.
Thank you. So, Ms. Ramirez, Antonia Ramirez. Ms. Ramirez. Okay, you have items 21, 22, 23, 27, 29.
Sorry, could you reiterate those, please? I appreciate that very much. I really
And
do.
then your general comments.
I'm sorry, sir. Could you repeat those again, please? Thank you very much.
21, 22, 23, 27, 29, 35, 30. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll start with number 35. What public benefit has Paramount Picture Studios performed to edify and instill greater morals and values for the city of Los Angeles and throughout the country and the world? Because they're too busy glorifying wetbacks and gangbangers and drug dealers and pimps. Why are we not selecting adequate movies that are going to help this country? We are right now in a dismal abyss. We are going down the tank because of all the drugs that are coming into from Latin America with all the drug cartels. Our children are ending up drug addicts on Skid Row. Let us stop these goddamn studios with their bullying and their glorifying this crap, because there's nothing to glorify. Go to Skid Row. Do you glorify those people that are homeless, that are drug addicts, that are infested with so much bacteria, diseases? Do you glorify that? I don't see Paramount, Warner Brothers, and all the jackass studios going and making their films over in Skid Row. They're too busy making it here to make it look like it's glamorous. And it's not glamorous. There's nothing glamorous about drugs, pimps, gangbangers, wetbacks. It's disgusting, utterly disgusting. And most of them hire wetbacks and gangbangers, these producers, because they themselves are junkies and their lives are miserable. Misery loves company. That's why they hang on to these wetbacks and gangbangers to peddle in drugs. Anyway, having said that, when a good movie comes up, I'll be the first one to tell you. And I'm still waiting for Top Gun 2. God dang, I hope Top Gun 2 comes out before I die. Thank you. And number 21, thank you very much. Boy, this is pretty intense. Now, to number 21, Mr. Ernesto Hidalgo, to the Rent Adjustment Commission. He's been appointed. Stop giving preferential treatment to these goddamn racist, hate-mongering wetbacks and Chango Latino gangbangers who are filthy, nasty pigs. They are pussies, they are come caca, and they destroy property. They commit tenant harassment every day. They break into your homes every day. Rather than giving them rent adjustments, why don't we deport these violent, wicked domestic terrorists? Oh, I would be enthralled. Anyway, item number 22, excuse me. The Chair Housing Committee pipeline. You know, affordable housing, we don't have any in Los Angeles. What we need is a pipeline of affordable housing that is decent, clean, and free from wetbacks and gangbangers and drug dealers. We need a good pipeline that brings in good homes. Homes that will be safe and secure and protected, free from wetbacks and gangbangers and tenant harassment and gang stalkers. So I say, now you have a job to do. Before you leave these council chairs and before you leave, I would like to see you establish a beautiful, safe environment for Los Angelinos. Those who deserve it. Get rid of the wetbacks and the gangbangers and the drug dealers. Send the goddamn drug dealers to Guantanamo Bay and send all the good, the wetbacks and gangbangers back to where the hell they come from. And again, we need a good pipeline with good homes for those good, deserving people. That's the way it is. No wetbacks and no gangbangers. Number 23. Boy, you got me here. Residual receipts. This is a bit out of my turf, but I did put it down. Again, housing, we have a problem. We have a dilemma. And the problem is, again, tenant harassment and harassment, gang stalking, where the FBI, the CIA, the NSA are harassing individuals for speaking out here at the council, publicly speaking out. Many are ending up homeless. Over 3 million Americans are being harassed by the NSA, CIA, FBI, and the Secret Service, and council members and county members. That's why we end up homeless. Not because we're drug addicts, not because because we're bad citizens, but because we are law-abiding citizens, and we choose to expose the fraud, the corruption.
Thank you. Give her general public comment minute.
Thank you.
1 minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, if the Iranian Ayatollah, the president of Russia, and the North Korean premier send a Tomahawk cruiser up the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, and the Secret Service's asses, we will stop all the domestic terrorism here in America and the international terrorism across and abroad. The Taliban will be gone, Hezbollah, ISIS, jihadists, no more wetbacks and no more gangbangers and no more foot patrol soldiers. Therefore, get rid of the CIA, FBI, NSA, and Secret Service, because they are the ones that are terrorizing law-abiding American citizens and international citizens. So again, let's stop the destruction of America. Let's put them out and give them the boot up their asses. And God bless the park. The Music Center Grand Park Block 4 females bathroom opened yesterday, August the 29th. It's been out of order since August the 15th. We need ICE there to get rid of the wetbacks and the gangbangers who are emptying out the toilet seat covers and the toilet paper.
Thank you.
God.
Thank you, Mr. Previn. Thank you. Mr. Previn, please come forward. Items 25, 26, 27, 28, 35. So you can spend, you have 4 minutes on those items, and then your general public comment.
Very good, sir. And it is Eric Previn from CD2, and I assume this is part of your strategy to finish all the public comment. And
Speak on the item. Speak on the item.
Don't interrupt me, sir. Thank you.
No, Mr. Previn, speak on the item.
Today, please do not shut my mic down. Multiple items today I will address. Thank you for your interest in city government. From item 11, 12, 13, and 14, we have the civil service exemption arena. The one that really caught my attention was item number 14, because it's for a golf manager. And you may not know it, but American Golf Corporation lobbies this body to the tune of $22.5 per quarter every single quarter for the last several years. So we're watching closely to see that Harvey doesn't tee off too close to home. We want this to be an independent person, and we want this to be a fair and equitable management of our golf assets here in L.A. City, as to be contrasted by L.A. County. Okay, so I would appreciate that. The other jobs, by the way, are an assistant GM for, I think it's Parks and Rec, a senior coordinator for a different one, and then public info director for planning. So public info director for planning, we also want to make sure we're not picking somebody who's sending a message that is not consistent with the public's interest. Obviously, item number 35, here we have our treasured partners, Paramount Pictures, moving forward very, very quickly at the urging of one of the council members. I believe it's O'Farrell, but somebody is moving it forward to reduce the hearing period from 24 days to just 10 days. Now, that is not at all in the public interest, as Bonin will confirm. That's in the interest of somebody else, which would be, of course, this is a big plan for Paramount Pictures, so it has been vetted. But inside that plan is $9 million in public benefit, $5 million of which goes to O'Farrell. Where is O'Farrell, by the way? Oh, there he is. Thank you. So we want that transportation funding to be deployed with visibility, and we want to understand how it's going to be deployed. I think the people in that district particularly are keenly concerned about the traffic problems. So before this is rushed through, those things should be resolved appropriately, I would say. Far be it from me to poke my nose into another person's district. But here we have item number 25, sir, and I believe this is Raw International, who are going to be helping us with the utilization of some proceeds. That means spending money. It's only $119,000, but for little neighborhood councils that only get 37, now $119 is not anything to sneeze at. But here, we feel that it's going to be too difficult to arrange any kind of competitive bidding, and therefore, you've arranged for RAW, R-A-W, International, to dole out those funds. I don't know if that's really a good idea, sir, just being honest. Item number 26, thank you to Mr. O'Farrell, because this is $12,000. This looks like the right kind of city council move. $12,000 to extend the swimming pool for the folks. I mean, this is what we expect and want. By contrast, item number 28 is our friend Mr. Englander shuffling $1 million, I kid you not, from the Sunshine Canyon landfill, where I heard some complaints recently about that activity over there, but towards a replacement pool. Now, whenever I hear replacement pool, I want to make sure the pool we're replacing needs replacing. It is not just an opportunity to smuggle city dollars. So I will take it to the council member to believe that it's going in the right direction and that this is going to be a great thing for the community, and hopefully it is. Item 30, this always catches my attention, sir, from your district and around there. A couple of orphan wells. Now, that sounds like Orson Welles. That's not a joke. Orphan wells means, I believe, oil wells that have been neglected in some way. And so we're spending some money. It's $182 grand. I'd like to make sure that we know how we're spending it, because everybody agrees immediately we don't want those kinds of dangerous situations, but I don't want to make sure someone's looking at what that money is going toward. Finally, we have 33, sir. Here is yet another retaliation and harassment lawsuit, and it's been waived from consideration in both committees. Now, whenever I get the sense that we're not really going to be considering, I wonder how many retaliation and harassment lawsuits do we have here at the City of Los Angeles? And I've already started that search, and believe me, it is an unfortunate bag of tricks that I'm lugging around with me every morning. We got to do something, sir. We have to find a corrective action plan that is meaningful. People must understand that if you blow the whistle in the City of Los Angeles...
Madam Clerk, give him his minute for general public comment. Yes, sir.
May I defer my public comment until after you call the special?
No, would you go on, start his time?
I mean, you already started my time, but I am in protest because I really do, sir, prefer to give a general public comment after the meeting has transpired. What you seem to be wanting to do is pull all the cards, call it the crazy section, and then move forward. But I'm not crazy, and I would like to give a public comment at a public meeting. So if you really are insisting this is it, then I'm going to move forward and go ahead and give it. It's a little hard because I'm frankly a little disorganized, but I always have something nice to say, sir. And today, I guess I will say the county settled a lawsuit with Terry Frank of Calaware regarding the Brown Act. The Board of Supervisors paid him $26,000. He's the lawyer for Calaware. He's a treasured partner and a guy who fights hard. But he didn't fight hard enough on something that was obvious. It was a 5-signature letter that they had sent up to the governor to crush the Brown Act a little bit. It didn't go anywhere, but they never put it on an agenda. Sir, this is what you, as the president of the City Council, know is the only important thing. Everything must be put on an agenda.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Donna Pearman. (23) and 24.
And 1.
Go ahead.
And 1 also. I spelled out 1.
Item 1 has been continued, so just go on.
Oh, item 7 all together? Okay. Let's see. The 23, that's the CRA project. Another Democrat idea, we can't, Yeah, we can't afford these loans. Our city is in big trouble. We have many homeless that won't be helped, especially the veterans. And in the meantime, you can't fix the escalator working at the Red Line station. We need to fix that instead of getting out all these loans. These are huge amounts of money, too. Of course, it seems to be connected somehow with the CRA. $460,566 for a house located in 1133 South Lake Street, service payback loan. $337,137 for every woman's shelter, and what woman really wants to be in a shelter. And $472 for community connections, Canada at 3881 Southwestern Avenue, and $318,196 for Rampart, located at 238 South Rampart Boulevard, which I seem to notice that all of these happen to be over on your area in L.A., but nobody in their right mind is going to want to be in a shelter. These are dangerous areas. They have lots of disease and lots of mentally ill people who need to be in proper places. So we don't need all these payback loans for all these homeless shelters. We need to have a real life for these people and not these shelters. And do I go on to 23 yet? 24 I'm in? Anyway, so... Anyway, these are not good, so I don't think we should get... It seems like another Democrat idea. And let's go on to number 24. This also seems to be a very crazy thing. Replacement, National Urban League to replace Los Angeles Urban League as lead operator. Anyway, we're spending $1 million for NO to operate the Crenshaw WorkSource Center. We don't know exactly what this WorkSource Center is, what type of jobs are we talking at the WorkSource Center. And why is it $360,000 serve as subtractor for Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership? What do we have to do with Chicago? So this if it's the Democrats, is a very bad idea because they just seem to like to spend a lot of money. And in the meantime, we can't have our video conferencing from Van Nuys. So we need to get the video conferencing from Van Nuys because people have the right to speak. I'm ready for public comment.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
People in Los Angeles, especially Jews that live in Los Angeles, non-Republicans, who you pick for president affects everyone, every city and everyone. You must not vote for Hillary Clinton. You have to vote for Donald Trump. Our national security depends on Hillary not leading us. If you do, get ready for Sharia law. Women get covered. Allah Akbar. Every Jew, Christian, and God-living Muslim will be affected, forced to bow down to radical Islam or die. I will leave America before that. Every Jew, go to Israel. Hillary Foundation got billions of dollars from radical Muslim countries. Exploit women and children. She's lying to you. She does not care for women, minorities, children, only by big foundations and rich donors. Anyone that will help Hillary. Only $100,000 Hillary gets for speaking engagements. That sound like she's for an average low to middle class? I think not. Vote for Donald Trump.
Thank you. Thank you. If I could get Mr. Sachs, Arnold Sachs, items 5, 6, 23, 26, 28. So you have 4 minutes on your items and then your general public comment of a minute.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Arnold Sachs. And I held item 6. It refers to Prop A funds. So I was wondering if those Prop A funds are a portion of the sales tax that the city receives from the county-wide Metro sales tax, Prop A funds. Because what's fascinating, you may have heard that the county Metro Board wants to have another Measure M, another additional sales tax. So when I go to the Board of Supervisors, I mentioned to them, there was an article in this newspaper called the Watts Times back in April of 2016 where they were going to do an audit of Prop A and Prop C funding. Now, both of those are sales tax, half cents each. The problem was in the audit, the revenue part of the audit said that Prop C sales tax revenue was $860 million. Prop A revenue was $746 million. There's a difference of $112 million. But they're both half-cent sales tax. How could that be? Well, we don't have to answer that question. So now we want another sales tax measure before the public for more transportation. And let's not forget Measure R, which was supposed to be $1 billion, over $1 billion. So you have 3 half-cent sales tax, each one generating a different amount of revenue for the county. How does that work? CRA funds, item 23 refers to CRA funds. So this was a story from May 6, 2015, when the elections were going on, and it mentioned something that Tom LaBonge did. It mentions that in the last 2 years, Tom LaBonge transferred more than $750,000 from the former redevelopment account to his council office budget. Well, if he did it, then what about the other 15 council members? So you do that math, and you say 750,000 times 15, that's $10 million. Where'd that money go? Council offices. That doesn't sound right. Was it agendized? No. But, that's how we roll in the city of Los Angeles. AB 1290 funding, discretionary money. Bus bench discretionary funding, pipeline discretionary funding, billboard discretionary funding. None of it part of the city's budget, but it goes to council offices. You ought to pay attention there. And then somebody mentioned the Sunshine Canyon landfill, one of my all-time favorites. When I went to my first Board of Supervisors meeting back in 2008, they had an item on the agenda about a hearing for enlarging the Sunshine Canyon landfill from 6,000 tons of trash a day to 12,100 tons of trash a day. 36,000 tons per week, 6 times 6, to 66,000 600 tons. It's a difference of 6,000 tons. What happened to the 6,000 tons? Now imagine, this is amenity funding that they're getting from Sunshine Canyon Landfill. So that's like you're getting paid something to dump your trash. You're still missing 6,000 tons of trash. What happened to it? Well, it was explained that that's dirt that's put on the trash to keep it from blowing around. Okay, that's a lot of dirt. It's more dirt than given out by the city council. But you know what? There was no dirt given out or no dirt spread when they were doing 6,000 tons. So to do it a little differently, if you look at the number of trucks that's involved, that's between 300 and 450 dump trucks, garbage trucks every day. It's 5 years of free trash disposal. And you're talking about $1 million in amenity funds. But that's your city council in action. And your county board of supervisors.
Thank you. Give him his minute.
Oh, so Mr. Bonin wants the state, and the county also wants the state, to declare a state of emergency for the homeless situation. How about that? But Mr. Buscaino and the other council members and the mayor want to throw the Olympics. So how do you balance a state of emergency for homelessness with having a big bash? Well, you don't pay attention to the homeless population. You can just put them somewhere else. It's only, 47,000 in the county? How many people work for the city? 52. So when we even up those numbers, then we'll take some action. It's really kind of disgusting to hear that. In 84, different atmosphere, different world, different lifestyle. But that's what I have on that. Herb Wesson, funding dilemma. Like so many Americans. And how many Americans are making over $400,000 a month in income between you and your wife? You may get a job at McDonald's.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Mr. Sachs, your time is up. Thank you. Can I get Telfo Emma on item 23? Yes, sir.
Good morning. My name is Tetlo Emin. I'm an attorney here on behalf of Pacific Clinics, one of the applicants who have a loan converted under item 23. We just want to thank staff for their support in this matter and their hard work. This is a really important issue for our client, Pacific Clinics. It's pursuant to an already existing CRA policy that allowed the conversion of these loans into grants that will allow our client to be on firmer financial footing. Pacific Clinics provides mental health care and behavioral services, and they have done so for over 90 years. They're one of the largest behavioral service provider in the county. So we're looking forward to the conclusion of this conversion, and we appreciate the council's efforts on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, let's vote on, we have items 5, 6, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. We have taken public comment on those items. So let's just go through them quickly. Let's vote on item 5. Let's open the roll. No, we'll do them all together then. Okay, members, that's 5 through 30, 5, 6, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. On those items, Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Mr. Price? And after Mr. Price, we'll prepare to go into closed session.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, good morning. On behalf of our colleague, Councilman Huizar, I'm honored to recognize the dedicated work of Kent Smith, the Executive Director of the Fashion District Business Improvement District, who is retiring after 17 years of service. Let's give it up. 17 years. Kent joined the bid in 1999 when the Fashion District and downtown, looked very different than it does today. And when you think of the beautiful and evolving experiment that is downtown LA, Kent Smith is one of its chief scientists, boosters, and supporters. Prior to Kent's arrival in Los Angeles, he first worked for the Forks Company in Winnipeg for 14 years. With a master's degree in environmental design from the University of Calgary, Smith worked as the company's chief executive and president to develop 70 acres of land that had once been a railway yard at the confluence of the Red River and the Assaboni River in the dilapidated downtown of the Canadian city. One of the first projects Smith worked on was helping pass the LA Adaptive Reuse Ordinance, which allowed old buildings that had been established as banks and office buildings and manufacturing centers or warehouses to be converted into residential units. The 1999 ordinance started in downtown LA and then spread to other local neighborhoods, and also led the way for projects such as the Santee Court, the structures between 7th and 8th Streets, which were converted into 550 residential units that opened in 2004 and paved the way for more residential conversions along Main and Los Angeles streets. Councilman Huizar has had the opportunity to partner many times with Kent to promote Broadway through the Bringing Back Broadway initiative, and he greatly appreciates all the hard work and sacrifices that Kent has given to make the Fashion District and the city of LA a better place to live. Kent has also never been thinking only of himself, and he gives back to the community in a number of ways. Besides sitting on a number of civic and service boards, Kent was appointed to the LA Chamber of Commerce's countywide task force on homelessness. Homelessness, of course, is our city's #1 issue, and Kent recognizes and has done all he can to address it. And we as a body thank him for those efforts. So on behalf of Councilman Huizar and the other 13 members here in the council, I'd like to thank Mr. Kent Smith for all he's done for the Fashion District, for downtown LA, and for the entire city of LA. Kent, you should be extremely proud of all the changes you've helped bring to downtown and making it a place of real communities and distinct neighborhoods. You made the Fashion District fashionable. That's your legacy. Congratulations, Kent.
Please give him a round of applause. Thank you, sir.
I just want to say thank you. I have my several members of my board here. My board graciously asked me to lead the Fashion District, which I've done as Councilmember Price mentioned for the last 17 years. On behalf of 1,000 property owners, 4,000 businesses, 2,000 residents, and over 40,000 people that work in the Fashion District, I just want to thank you, City Council, for the strong partnership you've given to our district, but not just our district, every bid in the city of LA. And it's that partnership between the bids and the city that's enabled us, I think, to improve virtually every commercial district in Los Angeles and make it a much nicer place to be for whatever reason that you find yourself in any one of those bids in the city. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I could just, I'll just briefly introduce my board members. I have my chair, Steve Hirsch, Vice Chair Mark Chadoff. I'm just like losing it here. Lori Rosen and Linda Becker.
Well, thank you for your service. Welcome. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Price.
Thank you.
Okay, if I could get Doug Haynes and Marianne Buehner to come forward. Item 35. Please come forward. Identify yourself.
I'm Marianne Buehner. Just go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm Marianne Buehner, a neighbor less than 400 feet away from the Paramount project. I've appealed the proposed subdivision associated with the development agreement. I respectfully request that the city allow the full notice period for the development agreement hearing without reduction to 10 days. The proposed resolution talks about payments to the city as benefit without regard to all that the city would give up in exchange for those payments. Under the development agreement, the city would waive virtually its entire land use jurisdiction over the site, which covers an astonishing 62 acres. Future owners of the site could move uses wherever they want among the various lots on those 62 acres. This includes the sale of alcohol for off-site consumption in our CD4 neighborhood. Future owners would have no design review by the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council and would be exempt from signage, height, even grading, shoring, permitting restrictions, which are applicable to everybody else. This is not a net benefit, but a net loss that cannot justify waiver of the statutory notice period. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Haynes.
Hi, my name is Doug Haynes. I don't believe you need to be an opponent of the Paramount Pictures expansion to be deeply troubled by this agenda item. I think the motion is completely wrong. There's no reason to limit the public notification period. And David Rue, I saw that you did not second it, and I would hope that you would vote against it in support of the community. The Paramount project brings many great things to the area, but at the same time, it brings many impacts, and it's important for the community to be aware of those. I also will point out that the development agreement, which is $9 million, includes $5 million in discretionary funds to CD13 for traffic impacts to the intersection, while my neighborhood will be significantly impacted for neighborhood issues that probably won't get mitigated because there's only $500,000. The traffic impacts to neighborhoods go from Western Avenue to Divine and Sunset to Melrose, a huge area, again, with only $500,000. Also, on this expansion project, as a member of IATSE since 1991, I want to point out it's an office park expansion. It's not a film entertainment expansion. There's only 22,000 square feet of expansion of studio sound space, while the office component is 1.273 million square feet. The retail, which is 89,000 square feet, is 4 times the existing retail. So there are a lot of benefits, but there are a lot of problems with this. And I think it's really important for this city council to have respect for the neighbors and the neighborhood councils and let us have the full period so everyone can be involved in this issue. And it will go before Plum today, and I hope that you will keep that into consideration also on the many issues. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. That's on item 35. Let us prepare to, Madam Clerk, open the roll. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, if I could ask, that's approved. If I could ask the sergeants to please clear the council chambers. We're going to go into closed session for a while. When we finish, you'll all be welcomed back. But at this time, sergeants, if you would please clear the council chambers so that we can go into our closed session items.
Come to the LA waterfront and celebrate Fleet Week 2016. Bring the entire family for exciting events Friday, September 2nd through Labor Day, Monday, September 5th. A free event at the Port of Los Angeles on the LA waterfront in San Pedro. Tour naval and Coast Guard vessels. Enjoy live music. Meet active duty personnel. Check out the hands-on displays and exhibits. The kids will learn about science, technology, engineering, and math at the free STEM Expo. Roar and spectacle of military and other specialty aircraft. All during Fleet Week, get discounted tours of the Battleship Iowa. Free for active military personnel, veterans, and children under 5. Also free to active military personnel. Tour the Lane Victory used in World War II, Korean, and Vietnam Wars. You will love the local eateries and popular gourmet food trucks at LA Fleet Week.
That's delicious.
Don't miss the Fleet Week First Thursday kickoff event on September 1st in historic downtown San Pedro, a short walk away from the port's main channel. Starting at 6 p.m., visit local galleries, shops, and eateries. Enjoy live entertainment, food trucks, and First Thursday's popular shabby chic art scene.
Fleet Week is coming to the Port of Los Angeles. LA Mayor Eric Garcetti joined naval officers to announce the plan aboard the USS Iowa. City leaders intend to make LA Fleet Week an end-of-summer tradition featuring active military ships.
I think it's such a tremendous honor to recognize and celebrate the bravery and dedication of our armed forces. It's a great opportunity to show off LA, the new LA.
We are so excited to host Fleet Week here at America's Port, where we're going to be rolling out the red carpet, or I should say the blue carpet, for America's heroes here along the LA waterfront.
Retired Navy, it was fantastic going aboard.
All the guys were great, all the gals were great. Thanked them all for all that they do for all of us.
Most people would really think it's just a ship, but there's a lot more experience to it.
We saw a great event today. We learned a lot about the Navy.
The Port of Los Angeles has invested over $600 million along our LA waterfront within the last 10 years. It's events like Fleet Week now that bring people to the LA waterfront, to our shops and our restaurants. In addition, there's the 8th annual Conquer the Bridge, where participants will be able to run alongside servicemen and women from the United States Navy, and that's going to be a draw in itself.
Come to the LA waterfront and celebrate Fleet Week 2016. Bring the entire family for exciting events Friday, September 2nd through Labor Day, Monday, September 5th. A free event at the Port of Los Angeles on the LA waterfront in San Pedro. Tour naval and Coast Guard vessels. Enjoy live music. Meet active duty personnel. Check out the hands-on displays and exhibits. The kids will learn about science, technology, engineering, and math at the free STEM Expo. Roar and spectacle of military and other specialty aircraft. All during Fleet Week, get discounted tours of the Battleship Iowa. Free for active military personnel, veterans, and children under 5. Also free to active military personnel. Tour the Lane Victory used in World War II, Korean, and Vietnam Wars. You will love the local eateries and popular gourmet food trucks at LA Fleet Week.
That's delicious.
Don't miss the Fleet Week First Thursday kickoff event on September 1st in historic downtown San Pedro, a short walk away from the port's main channel. Starting at 6 p.m., visit local galleries, shops, and eateries. Enjoy live entertainment, food trucks, and First Thursday's popular shabby chic art scene.
Fleet Week is coming to the Port of Los Angeles. LA Mayor Eric Garcetti joined naval officers to announce the plan aboard the USS Iowa. City leaders intend to make LA Fleet Week an end-of-summer tradition featuring active military ships.
I think it's such a tremendous honor to recognize and celebrate the bravery and dedication of our armed forces. It's a great opportunity to show off LA, the new LA.
We are so excited to host Fleet Week here at America's Port, where we're going to be rolling out the red carpet, or I should say the blue carpet, for America's heroes here along the LA waterfront.
Retired Navy, it was fantastic going aboard.
All the guys were great, all the gals were great. Thanked them all for all that they do for all of us.
Most people would really think it's just a ship, but there's a lot more experience to it.
We saw a great event today. We learned a lot about the Navy.
The Port of Los Angeles has invested over $600 million along our LA waterfront within the last 10 years. It's events like Fleet Week now that bring people to the LA waterfront, to our shops and our restaurants. In addition, there's the 8th annual Conquer the Bridge, where participants will be able to run alongside servicemen and women from the United States Navy, and that's going to be a draw in itself.
Come to the LA waterfront and celebrate Fleet Week 2016. Bring the entire family for exciting events Friday, September 2nd through Labor Day, Monday, September 5th. A free event at the Port of Los Angeles on the LA waterfront in San Pedro. Tour naval and Coast Guard vessels. Enjoy live music. Meet active duty personnel. Check out the hands-on displays and exhibits. The kids will learn about science, technology, engineering, and math at the free STEM Expo. Roar and spectacle of military and other specialty aircraft. All during Fleet Week, get discounted tours of the Battleship Iowa. Free for active military personnel, veterans, and children under 5. Also free to active military personnel. Tour the Lane Victory used in World War II, Korean, and Vietnam Wars. You will love the local eateries and popular gourmet food trucks at LA Fleet Week.
That's delicious.
Don't miss the Fleet Week First Thursday kickoff event on September 1st in historic downtown San Pedro, a short walk away from the port's main channel. Starting at 6 p.m., visit local galleries, shops, and eateries. Enjoy live entertainment, food trucks, and First Thursday's popular shabby chic art scene.
Fleet Week is coming to the Port of Los Angeles. LA Mayor Eric Garcetti joined naval officers to announce the plan aboard the USS Iowa. City leaders intend to make LA Fleet Week an end-of-summer tradition featuring active military ships.
I think it's such a tremendous honor to recognize and celebrate the bravery and dedication of our armed forces. It's a great opportunity to show off LA, the new LA.
We are so excited to host Fleet Week here at America's Port, where we're going to be rolling out the red carpet, or I should say the blue carpet, for America's heroes here along the LA waterfront.
Retired Navy, it was fantastic going aboard.
All the guys were great, all the gals were great. Thanked them all for all that they do for all of us.
Most people would really think it's just a ship, but there's a lot more experience to it.
We saw a great event today. We learned a lot about the Navy.
The Port of Los Angeles has invested over $600 million along our LA waterfront within the last 10 years. It's events like Fleet Week now that bring people to the LA waterfront, to our shops and our restaurants. In addition, there's the 8th annual Conquer the Bridge, where participants will be able to run alongside servicemen and women from the United States Navy, and that's going to be a draw in itself.
Come to the LA waterfront and celebrate Fleet Week 2016. Bring the entire family for exciting events Friday, September 2nd through Labor Day, Monday, September 5th. A free event at the Port of Los Angeles on the LA waterfront in San Pedro. Tour naval and Coast Guard vessels. Enjoy live music. Meet active duty personnel. Check out the hands-on displays and exhibits. The kids will learn about science, technology, engineering, and math at the free STEM Expo. Roar and spectacle of military and other specialty aircraft. All during Fleet Week, get discounted tours of the Battleship Iowa. Free for active military personnel, veterans, and children under 5. Also free to active military personnel. Tour the Lane Victory used in World War II, Korean, and Vietnam Wars. You will love the local eateries and popular gourmet food trucks at LA Fleet Week.
That's delicious.
Don't miss the Fleet Week First Thursday kickoff event on September 1st in historic downtown San Pedro, a short walk away from the port's main channel. Starting at 6 p.m., visit local galleries, shops, and eateries. Enjoy live entertainment, food trucks, and First Thursday's popular shabby chic art scene.
Fleet Week is coming to the Port of Los Angeles. LA Mayor Eric Garcetti joined naval officers to announce the plan aboard the USS Iowa. City leaders intend to make LA Fleet Week an end-of-summer tradition featuring active military ships.
I think it's such a tremendous honor to recognize and celebrate the bravery and dedication of our armed forces. It's a great opportunity to show off LA, the new LA.
We are so excited to host Fleet Week here at America's Port, where we're going to be rolling out the red carpet, or I should say the blue carpet, for America's heroes here along the LA waterfront.
Retired Navy, it was fantastic going aboard.
All the guys were great, all the gals were great. Thanked them all for all that they do for all of us.
Most people would really think it's just a ship, but there's a lot more experience to it.
We saw a great event today. We learned a lot about the Navy.
The Port of Los Angeles has invested over $600 million along our LA waterfront within the last 10 years. This event's like Fleet Week now that bring people to the LA waterfront, to our shops and our restaurants. In addition, there's the 8th annual Conquer the Bridge, where participants will be able to run alongside servicemen and women from the United States Navy, and that's going to be a draw in itself.
All right, we are back in open session. I want to thank you so much for those of you who waited through this. And we can go ahead and ask the clerk, can you please go ahead and take us to this item?
On item 32, in the case entitled Lonnie Wilmette versus the City of Los Angeles, there is a recommendation to expend as final judgment an amount of $22,518,296.87 plus applicable interest and settlement.
All right, thank you very much. With that, we'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, and that'll be forthwith, an urgent forthwith per Mr. Krikorian. Okay, without objection. So with that, next item, please.
And on item 34, in the case entitled Independent Living Center of Southern California versus the City of Los Angeles, there are recommendations to settle this case as summarized by the City Attorney.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and open the roll. Summarize.
The city has agreed to make an average annual expenditure of at least $20 million over a 10-year term of the agreement for either the rehabilitation of current non-compliant housing or the construction of new housing which complies with all applicable state and federal laws. Summarized as follows: creation of an additional 4,000 accessible housing units through a combination of new construction and remediation of existing multifamily housing buildings. The city will also adopt a rigorous protocol involving monitoring and inspections for compliance with Section 504 of the Fair Housing Act and the American with Disabilities Act. The HCID will require all owners and managers of city-assisted housing to adopt and implement uniform marketing and leasing policies compliant with Section 504 and the ADA. Also, in collaboration with Los Angeles County, the city will build upon an existing internet-based registry of affordable housing units to develop an online list of accessible apartments in city-assisted developments. The city will develop and implement a curriculum to train city housing staff, owners, and property managers about their disability rights obligations with respect to assisted housing. Also, the city has agreed to pay plaintiffs $4.5 million in damages and all costs incurred in the litigation. That will be capped at $1 million and subject to documentation. The city has also agreed to pay for the creation of an accessible housing unit plan in an amount not to exceed $600,000 and for the fees and costs of a settlement coordinator and court-appointed monitor. Finally, the council grants the CAO's office and the city attorney's office authority to accept and make payment of a fee award of up to $20 million. This will be paid once an appropriate fee award is determined by the court or as negotiated between the parties.
Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, thank you very much. Next item, please.
That takes council back to item number 17, called Special Bill by Councilmember Blumenfield.
Okay, and we'll go ahead and. Did you want to speak on that?
Yeah, the only reason why I called it special, I'm going to vote no, but I'm not trying to sway anybody in a different direction. This is a resolution to oppose a bill, AB 45. I don't see it as preempting us in any way. When I read it, in terms certainly the newest version of the bill, the old version maybe a little bit, you could say. I look at it as a model ordinance bill. I don't think it's worth spending a lot of time on, but since I'm voting no, that's why. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Koretz.
Thank you, Mr. President. AB 45 was specifically written to undermine local efforts by L.A. County and other municipalities to enact legislation dealing with sharps and pharmaceuticals. Cities, environmental groups, labor groups, consumer protection groups, and others successfully killed this. However, there's talk of last-minute wording changes resurrecting this legislation. So this is more sort of a good defense being a good offense and vice versa. So I'm asking that we oppose this as proponents of our zero waste goals and protecting our sanitation workers from needles, sticks, et cetera, et cetera. So I ask for an aye vote.
All right, with that, we'll go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote. You're just too slow. Okay, we'll go ahead and open the roll again, close the roll, tabulate the vote. Did anybody wish to change
10
the vote?
ayes, 1 no.
Okay. It didn't record your no vote? Okay, we'll go ahead and correct that as well. And Mr. Fuentes is a no vote. Mr. Kretz.
I ask that we go urgent forthwith with this item, please.
We'll go ahead and do it forthwith. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do it forthwith without objection. Okay, that'll be the order. All right, next item, please.
That takes council to general public comment.
Jose Martinez. Omar Baldwin. Omar Baldwin. Not here. Rosa Miranda. Not here. Mr. Ortega. Not here. Humberto Yoli. No longer here. Isabel Rodriguez. No longer here. Janet Fevala. Also no longer here. Merced Sanchez. No longer here. Candido Vasquez. No longer here. Oscar Mohammed. You Oscar? How you doing, Oscar?
Yeah, the United States of America, they continue to treat their minorities as an outcast, very inhuman. We should end Skid Row. End that inhuman, immoral disgrace we see on Skid Row. The human behavior side of the West is shameful void. When we look at the whole history of the country, presidents and other land, and we are looking at something that is awful and ugly in the eyes of the most America in the world. We should close those medical marijuana clinics out. Drugs should not be in America. We should end drugs from coming into America. We should be committed more to the commitment of justice and righteousness. And we should try to strive for democracy and justice. And we should try to
Thank you very much. So with that, that concludes general public comment. Do we have any announcements, colleagues?
Excuse me, Mr. President, we have motions for posting and referral.
We'll go ahead and post and refer those. And do we have any announcements? Seeing none, do we have any adjourning motions? Seeing none, that concludes the council agenda. Be safe. We are adjourned.